Walid is a Yemeni Internet Society trustee based in Sweden. His daily job is a professor at the Södertörn, I guess I pronounce it right, Södertörn University in Stockholm, where he specializes in internet studies covering social media, disinformation, censorship, blockchain, and other internet-related studies. So all these topics, I guess, are of lots of interest for many of our members. Walid, well, we would love to hear from you.
Hey, thank you very much, Hannah, and I'm really delighted to be here again. I've been missing the opportunity to see you in person, but I guess the internet is here to help us. So I'm really glad that this is possible. I mean, if you look back in time, 10, 20 years, this may have never been possible. So at least we have that to thank. And the first thing to say is, of course, I would rather speak in Arabic, but of course it depends on how the translation would work out. At least I would say a very short snippet in Arabic, if that's okay. And أولا أحب أشكركم بحضوركم، سعيد جدا إني التقيت معكم بشكل افتراضي كما يقال، رغم أنه التواجد معكم أفضل بكثير وجها لوجه. إن شاء الله في الأيام القادمة ستكون الفرصة أجمل وأفضل. يسعدني أن هنالك مشاركة أكثر كل عام، وهذا شيء مرحب فيه. سأعود مرة أخرى لأتحدث الإنجليزية، ولكن حبيت فقط أن أرحب بكم بالعربية. Now switching back to English, so as it would have. All right, so I see here, I can't hear the speaker. I hope it's, do others hear me well? Okay.
Yes, Walid, we can hear you.
Yeah. Okay, that's good to know. All right, so I thought I was asked if I would share slides. I thought, no, let me just speak heart to heart directly through these cables and through this screen, and make it a conversation, perhaps an opportunity to reflect on my experience, as well as opportunities for you as members of this growing community. And you know, as a trustee and as a part of the membership of ISOC, I myself feel that it's really, really important that we all know there's opportunity for everyone in ISOC. I started humbly like you from very early stages, where I just been a member of a small Yemeni chapter, which I'm delighted to see members of it here in this event. So I was, like you, starting to see to it that the internet is indeed something that is going to increasingly become prominent in our lives. It will change our lives, and possibly faster than we think. And so with that, with establishing a step at a time, looking into the requirements, I do recall the early days when I established the chapter with colleagues. It wasn't easy because the requirements were rather stringent, and that's a good thing, because you want to ensure there's broad participation. But once you have this small group of people, all synced, all completing each other, looking forward to improving the internet in their own environment, then you make wonders. You have the opportunity to do many things. And I recall how we were seeing faces re-emerging again and again in every meeting, showing that they are passionate because they look into the internet as something valuable and in need for development. So I see this happening in other countries. Not all of them have chapters yet, but I can tell they are working hard to establish chapters. So I'd like to push you to the next stage and hopefully have many more chapters from the Middle East. And if you need any support in terms of consultation, the staff is here, wonderful people that I've come to know on a personal as well as a professional level. I'm really proud to say that despite the fact that we don't meet that often, but we do see your work. It's visible. And that being said, of course, not to forget, this is an opportunity for community members to be engaged with themselves, not only with the staff. We would like to have the decentralized structure of the internet embedded in your culture, so that it doesn't center around one person in the staff or in the board or anywhere else. It's you, the special communities, serving each other, collaborating among yourselves. And the other experience I'd like to note is that in the last 5 years already, wow, since I joined the board, I have come to see the developments in the internet reaching remarkable levels. For example, we've seen recently the evolution of the decentralized virtual economy that's slowly shaping up. In the past, I would have people saying, oh, it's impossible that people can exchange virtual currency, for example. Yesterday, a few days ago, PayPal approved cryptocurrencies as a means of payment. So more and more, the world is changing and the internet is becoming central. And if you can imagine the COVID-19 pandemic, with all its tremendous losses in economic terms, in social and human terms, it also highlighted something important, that it also serves us as a reminder that we have alternatives, we have means of working together. We don't stop working, we find other ways, and that's what's being done. For example, the chapters still work, they still produce, they still engage, and they use the internet very effectively. In the bleakest of situations, where we have Syria, for example, with so much pressure on infrastructure, we also have Yemen, where there's been outage for a very long time. We have countries that are struggling with the very basic communication means. These found solutions through solar panels, through decentralized Wi-Fi networks. Imagine that. So ingenuity, creativity comes back in various forms. And so I am hopeful that this region will teach the world how to deal with difficult situations when it comes to the internet. And the resiliency of the people of the region is remarkable. In small parts like Gaza, for example, they've been self-sustaining their own infrastructure. They have been showing us that there are ways to deal with extremely difficult clampdowns and sieges, as well as strong limited access to infrastructure. And so these are all very strong indicators that you have the potential. And one thing I have very strong trust in is the youth. That's why recently we've been focusing more and more on building the capacity. And I think that is key for countries in the region where there's very high percentage of young people. And that is an asset that we are utilizing, I would say. So all of these combined make me, let's say, optimistic. Despite everything, I am very confident that we have the tools to allow us to use the internet, to grow the internet, to utilize the expertise, and to train and enhance the capacity of individuals. And that's where the foundation has recently done many various accomplishments. And one thing that is very evident is that the foundation gets motivated by you guys. You may not know that, but they know once they see active projects on the ground being implemented and seeing the results, they become even more boosted. And now they're getting to expand and to do more work. And that means that it's a continuously self-sustaining cycle that we see forming in front of us. So I know that I've talked a lot. I just wanted to give you these positive shining moments from my own experience and a reflection of what you are doing and what can do in the future. And I'd love to engage with you with any questions or thoughts. Thank you.
As Hannah said at the beginning, this should be an interactive session. So feel free to make use of having of the fact that we have Walid on the call today. Any reactions, comments?
I'll start with a question, if I may. What would be your one biggest advice to the people on the call if they aspire to be on the boards of trustees in a couple of years? What would be your one piece of biggest advice that they should take into consideration?
Thank you, Joyce. Very interesting question, but at the same time, I am conflicted because I want to tell you very strong strategic advice, but at the same time, I want you to know that it has to start with building your own community. And so start building your own community and own reputation, making sure that both you help the community where you are based in. For example, in my case, I started by helping boost and ensure that the chapter is active and running. And not only that, ensure that it has projects being implemented, and utilize your expertise. Show them that you care. Show them that you're passionate about the internet. And over time, it will come naturally. People will tend to look into you and say, okay, this is an example to follow. This one is really, this particular person is really interested, genuinely interested in the internet. So it would not be a marketing scheme, so to speak. It will be a homegrown grassroots initiative that shows and reflects your values, your interests, and your competence. So all of these together make a very solid case. But of course, at the same time, nothing is guaranteed. So whenever you look into this, you look into it as not an aim in itself, but a means to help the community even further. So you start with yourself, start with your community. Help the help that you do on your community level is still very important. And if you do that and you continue to work on that, and you find yourself interested in doing it on a global scale, of course, the Internet Society Trust is there. But it's always a matter of looking into it as a means to help the others.
Thank you, Walid. Thank you, Joyce. Any other questions?
Hi, Dr. Walid.
Hello, welcome.
I would ask from your experience also in ISOC and be a board of trustee, and they're also in the Middle East region. So what do you think the most important thing for the Middle East people to get more involved and to take the initiative to lead the internet?
Very good question. I mean, the idea, Ahmed, of having to lead necessarily means that you are self-sustained, self-sustaining. You are confident in yourself, in that your own environment is equipped. Let's say, for example, if you are going to lead a particular, let's say, entity or a particular movement, you need to be truthful to that movement's goal. So you would start with enhancing your competence in internet-related aspects. For example, you'd like to be very advanced in understanding how the IXP system structure works. How does the internet scale in your part of the region? Show by examples your creative ways of working and under stress, enhancing your security in the local networks that you have. And so all of this makes you appear already as a leader and a visionary in your own scope. So with that, don't look into leadership as a position. Unfortunately, in the Middle East, there's quite often the culture of taking leadership just because you feel that, okay, I am fit for the leadership. But leadership should not come in that way. So it always needs to be bottom up. Show that you are capable of doing the things that leaders would do. And then in leading with creativity and leading with innovation, leading with infrastructure and leading with competence, human resource development, these over time would allow you to become a model and would allow you to lead.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I mean to lead in the innovation, not to mean in a position or to be a leader. This is what I mean from my question, is not just to consume the technology, is to participate and to be part of the good initiatives and to serve not only the Middle East, even the world. So this is what
exactly.
from my.
Yes, I am really delighted that this is the overall thought. And yes, I love that in fact you raised the issue of consumerism, because I mean, I often bring the analogy of someone buying the best car, Lamborghini, or the most expensive car. It doesn't make you somewhat of, it doesn't necessarily reflect positively on you that you bought something so big. But if you build something from the bottom up, and then you showed the world that you can not only use this, but this can be useful for others, there you can actually prove that you have, in fact, presented something of value to the world. So that's where the aim should be. I'm glad that this is where your thoughts are going.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Walid. Thank you, Ahmed.